Hello, I'm Laura. It's May 27th, 2026, and this is the Wednesday Heartwarmer of today's Heartlines. Our theme for Heartlines this week is Opening Heart, Expanding Awareness. And there is no better thing to open the heart and expand the awareness and feel the warmth of our love and connection with each other than volunteering. In fact, the other day, just a couple days or so ago, my husband and I were wandering around in the large cemetery at Floral Hills near Raytown, Missouri, looking for the grave sites of his parents. We had been handed a flag coming in by some young volunteers from the scouting organization, and we just knew we could remember where they were. So we drove to the site that looked familiar, and we walked up and down the rows reading the names for almost an hour before I finally decided to ask for help. And sometimes doesn't it take trying everything we know to do before we actually reach out to another human being? Well, when we do reach out for help, it is wonderful when volunteers are there. I walked up the hill to the green tent, and more young people, both male and female, were ready to help. And I asked, where can I find Otis and Harriet Bennett? And they looked through their files, they pulled it out, they went down the list, and they saw Otis and Harriet Bennett and their relatives next to them, and they pulled out a map and highlighted where they were, telling me the landmarks to look for. And I realized that yes, Larry and I had actually been very close. So I went back, and within a few minutes, we were planting the flowers and the flag. But I was grateful that it actually took asking someone, because it expanded my awareness about the importance of the volunteers in our lives. In fact, such an expanded awareness has been practiced in the state of New York this past month, as they have been looking to the older adults who have volunteered for decades and honoring them, finding special ways to say thank you to special people, and also looking at other volunteer activities like the Habitat for Humanity in the Atlanta area in Georgia, where 24 houses were built in 5 days by 2,000 volunteers. So volunteering connects us with each other beyond any of our human-made boundaries that we may come up with that divide us. And it is important to remember that in a spiritual kind of way, we are all always connected with each other. But isn't it great when it can happen in positive and helpful ways, and we can connect with each other deeply simply by saying thank you and you're welcome? So it's this kind of connection that we can now open up to in a moment of quiet contemplation. As we take a deep breath and close our eyes and hold this thought in our hearts. With expanding awareness, I seek out volunteers and I say thank you. With an open heart, I find opportunities to volunteer, and I say, you are welcome. With expanding awareness, I seek out volunteers and I say thank you. With an open heart, I find opportunities to volunteer and I say you are welcome. And so it is. So I invite you today or in the days to come to expand your awareness of how connected we are with each other by finding a volunteer, perhaps asking for help, but always, always to say thank you. And when you do volunteer and someone shows their appreciation to you, to say, you are welcome. You are welcome into my heart. You are welcome as we connect with each other beyond all human created boundaries. We recognize our connection through volunteering. So thank you for being with me today, for volunteering your time to tune in, and for appreciating the time I volunteer to give to you in this way. You are welcome and have a wonderful day.